We first started entertaining the idea of going to Europe when the Queens of the Stone Age did their first tour here in Europe and the UK. Fatso Jetson was support, and that was back in the mid-90s. At the time I was running a rock club in the desert. We did a lot of performances in the desert, free shows, generator powered, not a lot of touring in the States, not a lot of gigging anywhere but like San Diego, Los Angeles, San Francisco. Because of Caius's popularity and their hard work touring here, it shed a lot of light on the desert music scene. And because we were kind of a band that used to perform a lot when they were kids, we were kind of an influence on them in a way. They decided to bring us along on their first tour here. When we did that tour, I realized that there was something kind of special going on and that people were getting into this thing beyond the music itself and to this whole ideology and vibe of our music scene, similar to like punk scenes or something really underground from the States that had this whole kind of stylistic support system where people were looking for a certain sound, a certain vibe in the music. You know, that was like 15, 20 years ago, and we've been coming back for the last 10 years and just seeing younger bands, young guys. My son's 21, he plays with us now. I see guys like his age that grew up listening to Caius, Queens, Masters of Reality. And when we tour all over now in the UK or in Europe, people come up to me and they say, oh yeah, you know, we've been collecting your music for 15, 20 years and we never thought we'd see you play. So the Desertfest here in London was it was our first performance in London, and it was amazing to see the amount of people that actually were aware of what we do and aware of our music scene and aware of the musicians involved. Now, I think there's 3 or 4 of these Desertfests: Berlin, Belgium, London, of course. We're feeling this growth of this certain weird kind of mix of punk and metal and groovy rock and roll, and it's just like it's beautiful. It's really cool. Yeah. Well, the one thing that's special is it kind of just the idea of the genre that has been created of desert rock is kind of like a really open-minded approach to rock and roll. And I think it has a lot to do with groove and vibe, and the Desertfest really showcases diversity in the rock and roll scene. I mean, there's everything from punk to metal to stoner rock and all these things, and I think that's really rare for a rock and roll festival.